Hello, everyone. Welcome to Monday Live with Alan and Greg, and our guest, Roy, from Roy Reads Anything.
Hi,
And
folks.
how's everyone doing tonight?
Pretty good.
Doing well, very well. How are you, Greg? Are you nice and relaxed?
I am nice and relaxed.
Mm.
It's waiting for things to happen here in Virginia. They have an inclement weather warning. They say anywhere from 1 to 12 inches.
Wow, yeah. You guys got hit a few days ago too.
Oh, blimey.
Yeah, I heard. I was on the cruise ship when we had that snow, and
Damn, man. Never mind.
it all melted before we got back. So no worries for me.
Yeah, we had a couple days of snow that accumulated on the ground. Then we got rain yesterday and it went away. So if that was our winter, I'm snap happy about it. What about you, Roy? What's your weather like there?
It's pretty. It's still very cold. It's cold because of the wind. We had some snow a while back, but it's really rain and floods are the worst thing.
Oh,
there's places flooding that never used to. That's a bit worrying.
now are you in London or outside?
London? No, we're in northwest. Liverpool's our nearest city.
Oh,
Okay.
So
yeah, I was thinking you were in London for some reason.
No, I'm from down that way. In fact, I'm from further south than London. I'm from Brighton. But
Brighton is, yeah, I want to see that for sure. There's like the train from Brighton to London, right?
Yeah, it takes about an hour.
Oh man, that's excellent. Yeah.
So
How long is he there?
It's weird though. When I lived down there, I wouldn't go to London that much. I think being close, you had a kind of disdain for the place, But now I've lived away because I moved away from Brighton more than 25 years ago. So now I've grown to like London a lot more.
Nice. Yeah, I have a friend there. We haven't met, but Dane Cobain lives there, and
Oh yeah.
We talk a lot.
Mm.
We talk more, but good dude.
Yeah, I like his channel.
Good meat. So let's. Did you go snorkeling in Aruba, Greg? Or
Yes, we did go snorkeling in Aruba.
Cool.
We had a day trip from the cruise ship. You can just buy day trips, and they stick you on a bus. And we went on a catamaran, and they took us
I love those.
out away from the island. Not too far. It's like quarter of a mile, maybe half a mile at the most. And they just said, go put on your snorkel gear. Didn't see a whole lot. My wife is really into snorkeling. It was kind of tame.
Oh, well, I watched a few videos on Aruba. It looks like a lively beach and city with colored buildings and
well, actually, Alan, Aruba doesn't have any beaches. No, wait a second. What is it? Or is it Bonaire that doesn't have any beaches? I'm thinking I'm confusing my islands.
Because they had like little huts.
I'm thinking about Bonaire doesn't have any islands. No, it has no beaches. It has a beach island where everyone goes to on Bonaire. But you're right. Aruba has the good beaches. I didn't go. My wife went up. She took the bus.
Oh. Yeah, I love beaches too. I love Venice Beach, but Daytona Beach, used to go there a lot growing up.
Okay, we got a couple of commenters. We got NC 1964. Roy, just watched your Strand video. Very interesting. Thank you. I have not got to see that one yet. But when I hear the Strand, I keep thinking of the bookstore in New York City.
You're right. Yeah, the magazine.
This Strand is the one we're talking about, the magazine.
Okay.
Part of the Homes for the Holidays thing. So.
That's the magazine that published the original home stories.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, the short stories started off in there.
Right.
Yeah, it's a good video. I saw it.
Is that an original copy of a magazine you just held up?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I bought it
Oh,
off
it
the
is?
newsstand because I'm very old.
No.
No, it is. These are individual issues, but they haven't got Holmes stories in. I've got a.
Okay.
I didn't know they were original. I thought they were just like copies of them.
Hell no. And I've got
Wow.
a bound set that's got the beginning of the Adventures of Sherlock Holmes.
Cool.
With
Did
the
a bit
great
of-
illustrations.
Two of those, which was fun. Yeah, the illustrations are great, and it's really how the characters are as much defined by the pictures, I think. You know, Sidney Paget sort of created the visuals for the character, and
Right.
things like the Deerstalker hat, they came from him rather than Conan Doyle, but
That's right.
Doyle went along with it.
The Alan and I just finished a book called The Fifth Heart by Dan Simmons,
Right.
which is a kind of a Sherlock Holmes story or a pastiche.
Pastiche.
Mm.
It's very odd because in it's like the first or second chapter, you get introduced to the Holmes character, and he's out near the Thames, and he's going to throw himself in the river and commit suicide. But Henry James, the American author, comes up and he saves Henry James, who was also going to commit suicide. But in this book, the reason Holmes was going to commit suicide is because he realized he's a fictional character.
Oh, okay.
So
Like metafiction.
It's very metaphysical. So very bizarre. I don't think he holds true to the true Holmes character very much in the Simmons novel, but
I kept forgetting the crux of the case they were on and how.
yeah, it's not a great book by any stretch. It's interesting, but
I like the historical, like characters who came in, like Mark Twain, Samuel
Mark
Clemens,
Twain, Henry Adams,
Teddy Roosevelt.
Teddy Roosevelt,
There's like an assassination attempt on
Grover
Grover
Cleveland.
Cleveland.
Hercule Poirot is mentioned as a real detective in the book.
Moriarty.
So
Yeah.
It
that-
sounds like a riot, you know. But
it could have been so much better,
mm,
but it's just I think he had too many ideas and not enough glue to hold them all together. And
Yeah, I kind of compared it to Drood when I did my review of it.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed it.
Let's say hello to Pat.
Oh, hey, Pat.
Pat.
And Pat also enjoyed your Strand video. Fred, read by Fred, is here.
Hey, Fred.
Right.
Well, he was here. I hope he's still here. But
Yeah, he was
it's taken a while to get to the
You know,
comment.
It's President's Day today, isn't it?
It is a holiday, but when you're retired,
Yeah, I know.
holidays don't mean anything.
Yeah, I don't know if I just didn't get mail or
Oh, you wouldn't get mail today.
no, not today. But
Mm.
I know some offices were open. I made some appointments. I'm going to start doing acupuncture again, and I was talking to Pat about it too. I get a free like gym membership,
Ooh.
and I get like 3 places to choose from. I think everyone have to take a bus too, of course, but one's
All
pretty
right.
close by. I like to swim or exercise.
So, Fred, here's a question. I think we talked about this before Fred came on.
Yeah.
Roy, forgive me. Are you in England, Wales, or Scotland? What's the weather like in your area?
Okay, so I'm in England. I'm in the northwest of England, where it's pretty wet and cold at the moment. We're actually not that far from Wales, so we're north of Liverpool, and then sort of you got Liverpool, you got the River Mersey. The other side of that is Wales.
Okay. Yeah.
But if we drove north from here for a couple of hours, we'd hit Scotland, which is really where we like to go for vacations, mainly.
You and
Yeah,
Jenny, right?
But yeah, Jen, when Jenny's able to get out and about more. So yeah, that's us, northwest England.
All
Been
right.
here for a long time.
All right. So I think we've been in here 10 minutes. We can start talking about what people have been reading or currently reading, whichever one, Roy, you want to highlight, just to give us some insights.
Yeah, so I'm doing an event called Filmtastic February, film as in movies. It's an obscure booktube, obscure book adventures. Annie is the host, and I'm one of the co-hosts. And I've hit the week where it's about non-fiction, so I'm reading a biography of a Bollywood star called Fearless Nadia. Fearless Nadia, who was a sort of stunt woman, lead in loads of movies in the like 30s, 40s, 50s. And she's just amazing. She plays these kind of Zorro type characters quite a lot.
All right.
She was super athletic and kind of broke the mold in lots of ways. Really enjoying that. I don't normally read biographies, but this one's really good because there's lots of stuff about Indian cinema and Indian culture and just how the movies worked. And I think she was just an amazing person.
I love that movie, Slumlord. What was it?
Slumdog Millionaire.
Yeah, that was a Bollywood.
No, that was either a British movie or an American movie.
Was that Bollywood?
Not really. I think that was some sort of Western movie. Yeah,
it was either England or it was set in India.
I see,
but it was not. It was not a true Bollywood movie.
Yeah, I was thinking. Bollywood has like more dancing in it, I suppose.
Well, what's interesting is I was reading a book called Sacred Games by Vikram Chandra. It was a long sort of mystery novel set in Bombay, India. The author was born in Bombay or is currently British, and he wrote it in English. But what's really curious is that about every fourth of the book, you would stop the chapter and have this interlude of this other short little novella, short story that had nothing to do with the novel.
Oh,
all right. And then he goes through, and then towards the end, he mentioned that in Bollywood films, there are lots of songs and dances, and they're actually interludes.
Oh, yeah.
It's not really part of the movie proper. It's just bringing in a song and dance. So when he was writing this, he's trying to emulate Bollywood style of just bringing in something else.
Oh, I see. Oh, brilliant. Yeah. Oh, I love that idea. I mean, I've never been a big Bollywood guy, but a couple of years ago, I set out to watch every Tarzan movie.
Okay.
You did.
And I thought, Tarzan movies, there's going to be the silent movie with Elmo Lincoln, and there'll be Johnny Weissmuller, a couple of odd ones in the 60s, and the recent one that I didn't like.
Bo Derek did one.
There are more, there's more than that. But then I found out there were these Indian Tarzan movies, and there's loads of those, and they're like wild.
I've seen the TV ones, black and white ones.
But there was the TV show with Ron Ely.
I remember those vaguely.
The
white guy looked like the California surfer Tarzan.
Yeah,
companion,
Ron Ely. Yeah. That's one of those shows where the opening credits are like the best part of the show.
Yeah, I think didn't they always have a cliffhanger at the end too, or
I can't remember that much about them. I think they actually were pretty slow.
I had a
boring. Often he's not in it very much because the actor would often be injured. He'd be bitten by the chimpanzee, so he wouldn't get much screen time because he's recovering from.
Growing up, I kind of divide my childhood between two houses. When my first house up till third grade, I had a friend lived at the corner at a big house, and like out of Detroit, Michigan, we'd get like every Friday or weekends these like horror movies or Godzilla movies or like cliffhanger type movies, and I'd sleep over at his house. It was really fun.
So, Roy, is there any other good books from the Filmtastic February that you want to?
Good books. Well, I read a science fiction novel called Four-Sided Triangle because there was a prompt about books that have been turned into movies. So this was
Okay.
turned into a sort of a B movie, but book was pretty good. And the video I've got going up on Wednesday is about the novelization of something called Moon 02 that came out in 1969.
Who's the author of that one?
It's a novelization from the script, and it's
Okay.
by John Burke, who did loads and loads of novelizations
The novelization. Okay.
movies. And it's an incredibly low budget film. So imagine, 2001: A Space Odyssey was this huge epic,
Yes.
cost millions and took years to make. This was kind of riding on the coattails of that and was produced really quickly with hardly any money and little models and stuff like that. But the book was really good. So I actually enjoyed that. That was kind of Wasted Weekend as well, Garb August, Criminoli's thing too. I thought I'd read a trashy film book,
Cool.
which was fun.
Okay, before we go on to Alan, right into the question, Roy, how is your Arthur C. Clarke reading watching project going?
Well, it started. I've read some short stories, and I've watched the main movie, 2001: A Space Odyssey. So next up will be to read Arthur C. Clarke's book, and then move on from there. So I started a bit earlier than I expected to, actually. Really enjoyed seeing the film again. Which
I've got Rama sitting on my shelf unread. Never read that.
Ron,
Yeah.
I read that a number of years. It's actually a pretty good book for a hard science fiction novel.
Yeah, Tom at LA Books sent me that a few years ago. I haven't gotten around to reading it.
Okay.
I think I got a bit bogged down with that when I tried to read it a long time ago. But I did read Arthur C. Clarke when I was like a little kid. I read Childhood's End and City of Stars and all sorts of stuff. And I was obsessed with 2001 for a while, but this is all so long ago.
I did Childhood's End. Was it 2023 or 2024? Or it was a reread for me. I have a whole bunch of Arthur C. Actually, I have a whole bunch of Arthur C. Clarke books. Let's see.
I only have one.
Holy God!
What?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Oh, I used to live near a used bookstore that would sell this is like $2.50. So I would just grab them and say I'll read them someday or maybe not. Now, did you ever read these two? This is Against the Fall of Night and City in the Stars.
The City and the Stars I've read. I've not read the Against the Fall of Night.
Well, this was his first novel.
And
he was not real pleased with it, after he's read a couple novels. So he rewrote the novel as City in the Stars. So,
I see.
So just like you think, well, if you read both of them, you'll see a lot that's similar and some that's different. But I haven't thought it'd be an interesting project to read both of these just back to back and
sure make a video on that
and see how an author changes over time.
Good idea.
Yep. Jim is here. Hello, Jim.
Hey, Jim.
Hi, Jim. You all right?
Bad is here. Hey, everyone. And you're early. Great for me because I have no interruptions and cooking.
Good.
All right. Yeah.
Bad's an excellent cook.
Yeah. Well, Bad, sometimes we are early because our guests are way out in England where it's much later.
Yeah, I've done my cooking as well. It's all in the past for me.
Yeah, well, you know what I do every Monday?
Pizza jerk.
Yeah.
Kind of early, but okay. When we're done here.
Yeah, I forget. I won't be doing pizza jerk today, but because I have errands to do. But
So Read by Fred says, I have the Arthur C. Clarke Mysterious World and Mysterious Universe DVD collection.
Wow, excellent.
Something about those 70s, 80s shows that he likes. Or
yeah, he's a trekker. Fred is. I know he's got like the uniforms and that.
Okay.
You know, because Star Trek, Molly's daughter was into that. Like, and they all have, you know, different. You guys might know better than I. The different colors mean something, and right?
They do, but don't ask me to
Me neither.
explain what they mean.
Me neither.
We're just watching Star Trek Voyager through again. We watched all of Deep Space Nine, and now we're watching Voyager.
Okay.
Not so
Whoopi
keen.
Goldberg's in one of those, isn't she?
The Next Generation?
Oh,
Yeah, she's in the Next Generation. She might be in one or two Deep Space Nines, can't remember, but she's mainly Next Generation and
yeah, I like her.
Picard. Yeah, she's really good.
So Jim is all good. That is perfect either way. Live streams are great for entertainment and friends. Yeah, they are. I as I said, this is my pub night, even though it's a little early to be drinking for me. Fred, Mrs. Roy reads anything, is into Star Trek. She's a keeper for sure.
Yeah. We've watched them. Never really watched Enterprise or the originals.
Once I grew up on.
But yeah, we like the main series and also the Orville as well.
Yeah, I used to watch the Next Generation, and what was the one after that? Deep Space Nine.
Yeah.
And what happened? That's when I was single. And, you know, I'd go home after work, single, no one's here. And I never finished Deep Space Nine because I got married and moved in and didn't have a TV for a while. So I never finished up that series and never picked up anything else afterwards.
Right. I think Deep Space Nine is the best one because it had the most coherent story.
Okay.
And probably I don't know, you know, it's got some serious themes that come out really well, great characters.
Well, I remember when it started, there was criticism or questioning that because Deep Space Nine is a space station that does not move, you really have to bring the action to the story instead of go to where the action is. And that maybe, or I would say it's more cohesive, is that you're fixed. You can have a more, you know, like I said, a story in place. So
sure, yeah. But really, the spaceships in every iteration of Star Trek are so huge that you get that sense anyway, I think. And then in Deep Space Nine, they did make it more mobile after a while to address all of that.
All right. So any other books you want to talk about, Roy, or should we go on to Alan?
No, move on.
All right, Alan, you're up.
Well, we talked about The Fifth Heart, Sherlock Holmes. I watched some movies this week. I watched Mr. Holmes, and that was kind of confusing because it had suicide in it from a case. So really, I kept, you know, The Fifth Heart is kind of a big book. Dan Simmons is known for biggish books. How many pages?
624. Yeah.
So took me a few sittings to get that. Jim seemed to really get through it fast in the group. Then I'm up to date with our group on the Brothers K. That's chat. She's in it.
Yep. I'm gonna start book 5 tomorrow.
Yeah, I think I'm just a few chapters into book 5. Then I've been lagging behind in Borges. Been talking to Una about it. Different stories a bit. Una at the Codex Cantina. Yeah, thanks again, Greg, for this book, man.
No trouble. As I said, I was looking for that used copy for years and never found it.
Oh, you got this was used. It looks
No,
brand new.
no, that's brand new. I was looking for it, but never
Oh
found
yeah,
it.
right.
I guess if people have Borges, they don't get rid of them.
Yeah, I'm not, annotating this up at all. It's just my first read through. So I'm pretty much going in order. I've got the Audible, the audiobook. And then what else? What else did I? Just Sherlock Holmes, like stories. I was kind of going through them with Randy Ray, but I couldn't keep up. I've been concentrating on guitar and drawing too. I wanted to mention Tom Robbins died last week, and so
You'd mailed him a letter.
yeah, I did. I finally
I
got
don't think he's going to answer.
PO box, and it came back the first time because our friend, that commenter extraordinaire Patricia H, sent me his PO box. They closed down up in Washington, so I found the right one on a website. But she likes to think that he read it at least. But yeah, we'll have to find a weekend this summer, Greg.
April or May, I think. I know we're scheduled to do that one, another roadside attraction, and
in April or May.
And 100 Years of Solitude.
Oh, okay.
So one of them's April, one of them's May.
Yeah, that's cool with me. Roy and I and some other people, Roz, Skeldanian about the books, Pat, book chat with Pat. We're doing Finnegan's Wake. Is Roy's idea. April, June, July. So I'm going to make an announcement video tonight or tomorrow on it. I know Roy I have a playlist with Roy's announcement video in it, and he's got a nice schedule. And I was to read it. So it's not like reading the whole book. I mean, we're starting at the Mama Festa, page 104. And Roy, yeah, it's going to be kind of jumping in there. Like page 119, we could do a whole. I mean, it's my copy's pretty much annotated up, and especially page 119. But yeah, looking forward to it. I know the episodes like Shem the Penman, the Riddles episode, the Mama Lujo, which stands for Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. So looking forward to it. I know Roz and Pat are a little hesitant like everyone else is, but I think they're going to really dive into it and enjoy it.
I do have a question for Roy. Is what's the logic behind starting in the middle and not reading the whole book?
Well, it's something I came across online. There's a professor, I think his name's Sebastian Knowles, and he devised this way of teaching it when he had to teach it to a group of university students. And he just thought, well, rather than start at the beginning, let's start with the easiest chapters and work through to the most difficult chapters. And his rationale is that it's not a linear novel anyway, so it's perfectly legitimate to access it in some kind of bespoke, customized way. I just thought that sounded like fun. And he divides it into 3 rounds, and it just given that I don't think any of us want to spend all year doing it, doing 2 of the rounds seems like a good thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
I've been getting ready for this. I was deciding where to keep the books, because Finnegan in the song is a hod carrier. I've acquired a bricklayer's hod to keep all my Finnegan's Wake stuff in.
First one.
Which makes me, if nothing else, respect hod carriers, because it's this thing, even with books rather than bricks, is pretty heavy.
Yeah.
It's like the ultimate TBR. I did think if I was really hardcore, I'd not be able to put it down until I'd finished the book. But that's not going to happen. But yeah, got a bunch of editions and a few sort of guides and critical work. I like stuff like that. But I think although it's obviously not an easy read as such, it is pretty funny. And I think if you approach it the right way, there's fun to be had just by reading, seeing what's on the page and following some of the puns and trying to puzzle out some of the stuff that's happening. And that's why people keep revisiting it and you know, finding new things in it. So yeah, lots of fun at Finnegan's Wake.
Roy has an excellent Discord page started on it too. If anyone cares to join us, you know, I call it Finning, Finning. We've been in several groups, but not lately. I go to a local Ulysses group in an Irish pub every Wednesday night. But I really miss having a Finnegan's Wake group. I'm sure I could find one online, of course, but something about, which is what we're doing, but it feels like I don't know, more personal. So I'm really looking forward to it. That's about it for my reading week, I believe. Oh, I have been reading some poetry too. Gwendolyn Brooks, and still trying to get into a Wallace Stevens, but got this book out of the library. You know, Crowley was a great poet. He was a colleague of Yeats, and he wrote in sonnets mostly. I'm thinking about doing a Poetry Thursday on Crowley, but I wonder how many subscribers I'd lose.
Well, Alan, when I used to do Poetry Thursdays, it was like clockwork. Released it, lose a subscriber.
Huh?
Now, maybe it's the same person subscribing. It's like, you're doing poetry. I'm out of here.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. I was waiting for a chance to unsubscribe from Alan, and this is it.
Yeah.
Don't give me another chance.
All right. Before I start on mine, let's get through some comments. Bad says, I grew up watching Star Trek, and I broke my dad's Enterprise ship by accident. It was out of plastic and built from scratch.
Oh, man. Wow.
Oh, wow.
You know, I did see a Star Trek. This is a prison story, but I swear to God, it's true. Like out of toothpicks. Some dude that did the Enterprise.
I built an Enterprise model when I was a kid.
I'm sorry, not out of toothpicks, out of matchsticks.
Right.
They had Mattel models. They're just plastic, and he glued them together. And he did the Enterprise and
remember Revell models?
The Klingon ship and something like that.
Remember Revell models, Greg?
It might have been Revell. I don't know.
I was into those too, like especially cars. Do the engine right and paint the car and put the decals on. Last time I looked a few years ago, just walking by a like hobby store, models are pretty expensive these days, like $25 or more.
They were like $7 or $8 when I was a kid.
I know, man.
Of course, $7 or $8 was a lot more back then. So
tell me about it. Don't get me started.
Bad. Can you guys do the thing like Spock? Spread your fingers like a V. I can do this. I force my fingers. I can't do it without support.
Prosper. That's easy.
Oh yeah.
I can't do it. So, evening from the UK.
Hey.
Pat Allen, poetry is beautiful, and there's a great audience that will support it.
Kids.
You know, Alan, what's the loss of one subscriber out of 1,000?
Nothing for me.
Talking
about the Codex Cantina, they're up to 43,000 Codex Cantina.
Bad says, I was a horrible problem child.
You were?
Oh, that's what Bad says.
I don't believe you. I don't believe you, Bad.
Okay.
I call bullshit on that.
Okay, so Fred says, Greg, how many books did you read on your trip?
Yeah, good question.
Okay. I was about to segue into what I've been reading. I was going to say books I read on my trip or currently in. So here's Fred saying books on my trip. Okay, let's see if I can get them all. First book I finished was The The Valley of Fear by Arthur Conan Doyle.
Really?
Not the best Sherlock Holmes story around. It felt like the first third was a Sherlock Holmes story, and the rest of the book was just some other novel Doyle wrote and said, I'll just wrap it around a Holmes story. Not the best. Then I read The Expert Systems Brother by Adrian Tchaikovsky. That is a roughly contemporary science fiction novel. It is one of those where you're starting off on this primitive planet and you say, oh, is this a fantasy? You go, no, it's not a fantasy. It's just the technology has completely gone away. And they're just living a primitive life. And of course, you learn later in the book, oh, no, that's a starship they're going to go visit. And then after that, I read A Son for the Dying by Jean-Claude Izzo. He was a French crime writer. And this was sort of a contemporary novel about the life of a homeless man in Paris, in France, who's decided to go die in the sun in Marseille.
Oh.
Then after that, I finished, which is probably the best book I read on the trip, called Last Days by Adam Neville. He is a horror writer. And this was about a filmmaker who was hired by a rich eccentric to make a documentary about a religious cult, a religious doom cult from the late 60s and 70s. And he said, you have to interview the survivors now because they're all really old and dying. And
Is this fiction or not fiction?
It's fiction.
Oh.
But still, a doom
Great
cult,
concept.
it's and he puts more into the doom cult, that there's a little more supernatural reality into this doom cult than you would find in like Jim Jones or Charles Manson. Probably the best.
Remember those guys like Nikes? They all wore Nikes and thought that the aliens were gonna get them, but they took some kind of strychnine or
that was in the 2000s, I think.
They had like a weird connection, huh?
Yeah, they did. So after that one, I read The Man from St. Petersburg by Ken Follett.
Oh yeah,
I've read that.
That's a historical suspense set just before World War One, and how England was trying to get Russia to join into the.
Yeah, I like Ken Follett. I've read like all his stuff.
It was good until the very last scene in the last chapter. I thought he just said, nope, he blew it. I don't know, Roy, if you remember what happens in that.
It's a real stylistic novel, isn't it?
Pretty melodramatic and kind of, that
cardboard characters kind of.
It just did not fit the character. It's just like he tried to make. Basically, there's a character who's not all that likable because he's an anarchist and not afraid to kill people, and he tries to redeem him at the very last scene of the book.
I think it was his first novel, wasn't it?
No, this was 1982.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I Have a Needle.
I think like Key to Rebecca at least was the 70s and something like
or I Have a Needle.
Yeah, that would have been earlier.
I remember that. I Am the Needle. That's like. But I've read all his stuff. Even Jeremy Fee, Don't Call Me Faye, is like my buddy reading partner. We went through all the Kingsbury trilogy. It's like 5. I was talking about Pillars of the Earth just in my last tag video. But
yeah.
Anyway, go on, Greg.
All right. And of course, I listened to the audiobook of The Fifth Heart. But here is Greg's. So bad is saying, Fred, I bet 5 books.
I know. Why don't you read them on the beach, Greg?
I did.
Oh, you did? Okay.
So I had I had only my Kindle, but
right,
let's see. I think 5 is right. Valley of Fear, Expert Systems Brother, The Last Days, Man from St. Petersburg, and Fifth Heart. 5 books.
That ain't nothing, Greg, for 2 weeks.
Well, you have to remember that Last Days was 550 pages.
Oh,
And Man from St. Petersburg was about 350. So,
I remember that being a pretty slim book, but
mhm.
I'm
Yep.
just giving you some stuff. I find on vacation, I don't have time to read.
So Bad is asking any naughty ones, Greg.
But of course,
The Last Days had some naughty scenes in it, but A Son for the Dying had a couple naughty scenes too, but none specifically naughty.
were they open door or closed door? That's a new term I've heard.
I don't know. I mean,
Open door romances.
They were mostly open door, but not. Let's say the door is open a crack, so you can.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
not-
I hear you.
not
I hear you. I know
full
what you're saying. I know what you're
Ooh
saying.
la la.
So,
Read those crack door.
Alan is referring to Heaven's Gate. I remember seeing the news reports with pictures of
Oh.
them in Nike shoes.
That's right. The Heaven's Gate cult. Boy, pretty attractive cult.
Mm-hmm.
What's in it for me, I wonder?
You know, say there's nothing in it for you if you're a member of a cult, unless you're the higher echelon of the cult.
Oh, yeah,
You're
no.
taking in all the money and
If you're
getting
a
all the
Mooney,
girls or
if I
all
was
the
a Mooney, I
boys or
could
whatever.
get married. I could get a girl if I was a Mooney. They send me
No,
up.
you'd have to be at the top of the Mooney.
No, they marry all of them.
Oh, they give you. They
I
say,
just want
okay,
a
Alan, you're
girl."
single. Here's another single woman. Here you go. You're together.
I know. Where do I want to get involved with that. All right, I digress.
The Bad is asking how many pages. I did calculate it out. It's on another. It's like 1,000 something. All said and told, I will be doing a wrap up video for Wednesday, saying exactly what I read over the weeks.
I've been avoiding that. What's going on with Amazon and Kindle? I haven't watched MJ's videos nor yours on it, but
I did one today.
yeah, I haven't watched it yet. I haven't watched any of the Neil Gaiman stuff either. Too much. I don't know why not, but
Okay.
so
Yeah. The whole Amazon thing. In my video, I think there's a whole lot of hot air that people are panicking.
you're saying they're not gonna get their books back if they don't download them.
It seems that the culture today is pushing fear that something bad is going to happen, and you're not basing everything on facts. That you hear a story, and everyone is emphasizing that story. Like the one of the things they talk about in Amazon is in 2009, Amazon discovered they were selling a pirated copy of 1984. And so Amazon, this is not a legal copy. What they did is they took the software, removed the book from everyone's Kindle, and refunded their money.
Oh,
Oh, I see.
And people went into a uproar saying, how dare you remove this book that I bought?
Mm.
Well, yeah, but it was not a legal copy. But what Amazon changed their policy after that, saying if this happens again, and it does happen, people who buy it can keep it. They're not going to take it away. They're not going to refund your money, but they just won't. When they discover it, they'll stop selling it. And I guess that's the better solution than taking it back. But everyone's worried that they're going to do it again. And some people say, oh, they've been doing it. Oh, they've been doing it. And of course, I've been asking people, do you have any concrete examples of that happening? And no one else has come up with a concrete example of that happening. So, and it's issues like that. And people say their books disappear from their Kindle or their list. I didn't mention in the video that's possible, but I think there's an easier explanation. Now, I know Alan and Roy. I don't think you two are either computer experts. So, but if
I'm
you have,
savvy, online savvy, but I
yeah,
can't do spreadsheets or any
no,
of this.
let's just suppose you have a database of 2 million books, and you decide to move to a new database that
Hmm.
happens to upgrade.
Hmm.
There is going to be loss in that
Oh.
data transfer.
Hmm.
Now, it could be something really simple, and I'm just pulling this out of my brain. Let's suppose you have a publisher and they give you a zip code. This is our address, right? Let's say the person who gave it to you had a typo and it's a wrong zip code. One database says, I'll just give you whatever number is in your zip code, and that's your zip code. A more sophisticated database is going, this is not a real zip code. That publisher can't go in the database. That means all those books from the publisher can't go into the database. That means when you start it, those books are no longer available to you. Theoretically, they should have people cleaning that up. I used to do, not with books, but with other data. I used to deal with problems very similar to that. So if I had to guess, something along those lines could have happened to some books, which would mean
Over a typo and misnumber, huh?
You know, no, I'm just pulling that as an example. I'm not anyway saying it could be anything that prevents that data from going into the new database.
To making it, okay.
Okay, that is my personal opinion of something very. And Amazon is not really being malicious or mean or taking anything away from you. It's just a natural process of upgrading data. You'll have some loss, and theoretically, they should know how to fix that. And, and get it back in. But if it, like, let's say it's a small independent self-published book that sold 10 copies and the author disappears and they can't contact say, how do we fix this problem? You're never going to be able to fix the problem. That's just my theory.
Dust in the wind.
Yeah.
I thought the thing people were upset about was not being able to load books they didn't buy from Amazon onto Kindle like you used to be able to.
Oh, you still can.
Yeah.
You still
right. I thought Amazon were like closing the door on that. So you couldn't do it anymore.
I don't think they're closing that door. Maybe they are. This one is really just how you transfer your books. And it's like if you go to your website of Amazon and you go to your Kindle list, there's this button, it says download to computer. That's all they're taking away. The ability to download it directly to your computer. However, I'll show you this again. It's in my video. I have a Kindle. If I plug this Kindle into my computer, I can open up the directory in your computer, look at all my files on here, copy them over, put them on my desktop, and you've just made a backup copy of your books.
So how do I get the copy? So can you send that to people?
I could, but it wouldn't work for you.
Because
That's because the books I buy, or most books I buy from Amazon, are linked to my account.
Right.
So you have a different account. They say this is not the right account. You can't load this book. And one of the other reasons is that the people who are very much advocates of downloading books strip off this DRM, which what prevents me from giving it to you. And some people say it's legal if it's just for your personal use. I'm not a lawyer, but I say I have not seen any evidence that says it's legal. It's just people telling themselves it's legal because they want to do it.
Yeah, I read on Kindle sometimes, and I know that Amazon, it automatically goes to my Goodreads too. And I don't think you use Goodreads anymore, Greg.
Nope.
Do you use it, Roy?
No, I've never really been into that. I mean, it seems like sort of gamifying your reading, which
I just use it to keep track. I do a star review on it and just keep track, or to like just talk. I talk to a few people, but I talk to them more on Voxer. Seems like my same friends are, on everything, but I do prefer reading like a book instead of on a Kindle. I still do,
Okay.
about it.
It is, yeah.
So, Nika says, I read Pillars of the Earth by Ken Follett. Really enjoyed it. I have the sequel ready to go, but it's 1,300 pages, and I need to get myself mentally ready. I love Pillars of the Earth. I read that in the early 90s or mid 90s. I know Alan liked it.
Yeah. My story is I was reading it on a bus in Phoenix, and one of the main characters dies, and I went, and everybody on the bus turned to look, and I go, oh, man, I'm sorry. It was like a reflex. That was back like in the 80s, 90s, whenever, late 80s when it came out. Yeah, I mean, I don't even read on buses anymore. I listen to books on audio on bus while I'm traveling. But I was thinking about it too. We had Walkmans back then, but books
on tape were not that common, and they were really expensive.
Yeah, I got them on cassette tapes too. Some books, yeah.
So Bad's guessing 1,599 pages. You're a little high, Bad. A little high. Nice guess. Thank you. Okay, here's a question for you, Roy, from Fred. Roy, what is the most memorable trip you took with your wife? Did you bring a book too?
Well, gosh, we thinking about India again. We went there for the millennium, so we were there over the sort of 99 to 2000 change. Which was weird because you kind of there's all that millennium bug stuff was supposed to be happening. So you thought, yeah, we might never get back. Civilization might have ended, but it didn't. And we saw some places in India that was fantastic.
Yeah, man, I like to hear about India. Did you see any fakers or going into any of the guru tents or?
I don't remember any of that. I mean, I remember lots of weird stuff. I mean, one thing was about the traveling. If the schedule said we were going to fly, it would change into a train, and if the schedule said train, it would change into a bus. And I remember going on this huge long bus journey that seemed to take about 24 hours.
Oh God! Did it have animals on board? Chickens.
I think it was just our group. It was with a bunch of people, so it was just our group. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've been interested in like India since the 80s, and I had like roommates in college in the dorms who were from Pakistan. They wouldn't last long with me. I mean, it was funny, that my friends would give me shit about it. You get a new roommate yet? I didn't let college interfere with my education. That's what I like to say. Anyway.
Yeah, well, to answer Fred's question, yeah, I'd probably say that one. Was there another part to that, or was it just what was the
Did
trip?
You bring a book?
Oh, yeah. It's funny, actually. Like I said, we went with a group, and there were about 6 people had a suitable boy with them. It's just like that was the book. Everyone had to read that.
Greg's wife, Chris, turned me on to a cool book of fiction. Or was it nonfiction now? I can't remember. But
this is a suitable boy that Roy was talking about.
Yep.
Look at that spine.
Bigger than India itself.
Look at that spine.
Who wrote that?
Hold on. Look at the print size.
Oh my God. Oh God.
And then you go to the page count.
I'm already half blind.
Yep. The page count for this is, hold on. Let's give you the exact
3001.
3,349 pages of
Okay,
small.
what'd you say, Bad? What Bad say? Go ahead. Go ahead. I was just being
I'm done.
weirdo. I thought you guys had side bets going or something for a while there. Let me in on.
Bernica says, I think the quality of the cult directly correlates to how good or bad the hairstyle is of the leader.
Mm.
Yeah,
So
that,
if you
Yeah.
have a channel, you should do a photo montage of hairstyles, number of members, and number of deaths, and look for a correlation.
it is funny.
Justin, hello. I agree, Alan. Me too. I watch Greg's rants because they're more logical and calm. And here's Bernica. Fear equals views.
Yeah,
How
yeah.
absolutely true that is. I look at
It's
these people
outrage as well.
who not just this current issue, but other issues that are like, getting your all frustrated and angry, and tons of views. And here I come. My videos come and say, that may not exactly be true. And the fear ones get like 8,000 views, and I get like 150. Now my channel's smaller, not as popular, but still, maybe I should do a fear video.
Why not?
Yeah.
What issue could I stoke up?
Book wise?
I don't know. Does it have to be based on books?
Well, there's a lot that's not based on books. Even well, I don't know. I was going to say something. I don't want to go there.
All right. I'll have to think of something that isn't true, but pretend that it's true and see if I can get.
That's where I was kind of thinking about going too. Start your own.
Yeah.
Hunter S. Thompson.
Without getting sued, but
I heard a rumor. I started the rumor, but
there seemed to be a period when there were a lot of videos of like sort of cries for pity, kind of, and even the channel names were things like, this terrible thing happened to me, so I joined BookTube, and those would get like tens of thousands of subscribers instantly.
Negative things attract viewers for sure. I had some negative videos years ago that I think I put them on private. Just a couple like arguments got into. One guy, I can't remember his name, but he really would disrespect on Joyce and that. So I'd argue. I think his name was Schroeder. I don't know, but he got a lot of views for me, like over 1,000 views.
Yeah, I can never see the point in comments when somebody's like basically telling you you shouldn't like something.
Yeah.
Why not put that on your own channel? What's the point of coming? It's like somebody showing up on your front door and saying, I think you're wrong about some things, so I want to come into your front room and make a speech about all the things you've got wrong. I think, well, no.
Well,
you can't do that.
If I say something in a video that I get wrong, I don't mind if someone corrects me.
Factual errors, but
yeah,
the kind of no, you shouldn't like an author or whatever. That I don't know, that gets under my skin for some reason.
Well, the ones that sort of irk me is I talk a lot about banned books. And someone will always come along. The most recent, I saw the comment when I was on vacation, but I couldn't respond. They had no internet. It's kind of complicated on a cruise ship, but because the cruise ship has an intranet to communicate with the cruise itself and other members on the cruise, it allows some stuff in. So like I would get text messages I could see it when you can't open your app and look at it, but on your phone, it gives a little highlight. I
Mm.
can see the highlights, but not open it up in the actual app and see the whole comment. But okay. So I read someone's comment about a video I made on banned books. He says, "Oh, this is all BS about banned books. You can't swing a dead cat without hitting one of these books somewhere." And I have to respond calmly saying, "Well, but that dead cat is not in every library. And if you are a person who needs that library to get it, you're not going to get it. And why are these people telling us what books we can read anyway?"
Mm.
And they say, "But it doesn't mean it's banned. You can buy it somewhere." And that's kind of going on a very narrow definition of banned.
Yeah.
The
Anything's been banned.
The American Library Association has a very good definition of a banned book. And I can't remember, it's like if the book is been removed or restricted or otherwise you can't access, they consider that a banned book. Other people say a banned book is when the government says you cannot sell this.
I agree with the first definition.
Well, there is a distinction between the two.
Yeah, when I worked at bookstores and YouTube,
Right.
like they might have a special section for it with a curtain or something.
Right. But the idea is, well, especially with this current administration, like I can see this current administration actually trying to physically ban some books, saying no store, no library can sell this.
It was Holocaust Remembrance Day or month or something. So I've been thinking about that. My father and his friend went to a lecture, and there's a Holocaust survivor there who wrote books, and he signed them. My dad bought 3 different ones or 3 of the same. I don't know, but I'm getting one. And one of the quotes I heard on TV or somewhere was, the next step after banning or burning books is burning people. You ever hear that one?
Yes, I have.
Yeah. But it's weird to think about. There's a Jewish museum downtown Portland that I've been to. It's really nice and interesting. But they have a cafe there too. And I remember when I was in Ireland, we took tours like every week, bus tours. We went to County Roscommon where the Famine Museum is. It's a great museum. Walk through, it's interactive and stuff. And they have the first pistol that a peasant shot a plantation owner with. Guess what his last name is? McMahon, like my name with the Mick taken off it. But the first thing, you get done with the cool interactive museum, real interesting. You open the door and there's a restaurant. The Famine Museum or the Holocaust Museum. It's like, what the, really? Anyway.
So Bad says, "I believe everything. I'm too stressed out, so only trust a few people who can explain correctly."
Mm.
Bernica, the state companies get their SQL database in is too horrendous. If you don't know, I used to be a SQL database programmer, so I know exactly what you're talking about. Fortunately, a lot of the databases we did were our own and not purchased. I hate purchased databases. They're always something really wrong with them. Or should I say, the people who designed it have their own methodology that I don't agree with. It's very murky territory. People have been skimming through the moral gray area out of it in regards to digital copies of video games for the last 20 years. It Will by Stephen King will be my first big one.
Yeah, it's a great one, Bad.
It's a good one.
Mm.
Gavin is here.
Hey, Gavin.
Hey.
Bad says, "Bad is getting a divorce and moving in with Alan." Greg's topic is reading ruining relationships. Your partners have a problem with reading too much.
Oh, that's a good
good one.
It is.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because
Yeah,
I was with a woman for like, I don't always want to bring this back to me, but for like 13 years, a non-reader. And I don't think I'll ever do that again. If a girl doesn't read, don't, that used to be somebody's line. Oh man, Cliff's line from, what's his channel name? Yeah, he used to live in Portland too. But that's a funny one, Bad. That'd be a good rumor.
It is.
I don't think Renee would like it. Renee wouldn't like it.
I'm trying to save it. You know something, Bad? Once you get divorced and move in with Alan, I give you 3 days before you're knocking on my door. So
yeah.
Yes,
let me move in with you. I want to move in with Bad in Austin for the cooking, all the good reading, good movies. I watch Austin City Limits every Saturday with Shannon at Shannon's channel in Nova Scotia.
Fred said this has been fun, but I've got to go shovel the snowdrift.
Oh man, that video you did, Fred, was. You got to see the video Fred did with his dog out in the.
Honestly, I was 12 days without internet. I didn't see anything.
I know you've got to see. I said.
The problem is I'm never going to catch up those 12 days. And impossible. I know I have friends who made stuff. Sorry, it's nothing. It's nothing personal.
Yeah, my Against the Day video, Greg, already got like I'm pushing 400.
Really?
Yeah, man.
Mine didn't do that good.
Yeah, for me, and then for the topic too. For the book, it's getting more hits than any of my.
Really, mine has like maybe 250.
Oh yeah, check it out.
Okay. Saying bye to Fred. The other comment I see is, why are you talking about this banned book and not insert book with sympathize with my worldview at this point? It's just a race to the bottom. Can't win.
Race to the bottom.
Yep. All right, that's the end of the comments.
Okay. So where are you at on the collected fictions of Borges?
Are
you going right through the whole book?
I'm going through the whole book. I can pull out. I'm in the section with really, really short stories. Hold on.
Yeah, Borges is a really complicated, trippy writer. I mean, I really like him.
I'm on like page 315, and most of the stories in this section are 1 page or a page and a half long.
Oh yeah, I see. Right, in The Maker.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Parable of Cervantes and the Quixote.
Yep.
Cool, man.
So Roy, what other events?
Didn't know he'd written that many. I read a quite small book of Borges a long time ago.
He has Ficciones, which
these
is
mind-blowing concepts. Like the map that's the same size as the territory and things like that.
Jewish mysticism and magic.
So Roy, are you participating in any other events right now besides the Film Fantastic or
Filmtastic and Holmes? That's it really. And then I've kind of devised my own sort of 2001 thing.
Yeah.
You dropped out of Proust, right?
Yeah, I might come back to Proust, but I'm not trying to do the whole thing in a year. I realized that for me, it's something, if I was going to enjoy that, I'd be savoring it and probably doing it with no clutter around it, like pure Proust all the way, really, for a month or two. And that's probably that way I'd read 1 or 2 of the books, but I don't think I can manage the sort of
it's a little difficult in little bits.
Yeah, that's it. It's just I thought, well, I either get fully immersed in it. I kind of wasn't in the mood because I just thought this guy, it'd be interesting if it was rewritten by somebody like Jack London or Robert E. Howard.
The whole first book would be maybe a page in one of those guys.
Yeah,
but also the girls not
Karamazov. That's another thing. I'm really, really, really enjoying Brothers Karamazov.
Oh, good. You're still with that.
Yeah. I'm up to date. It's a riot. It's fantastic.
It's the brothers are just so interesting.
Yeah,
So different.
yeah.
Too.
And I have my favorite brother. He's not getting as much time as I want right now, but I have
Mm.
my brother who I associate. Now,
Ivan.
which brother do you think I associate with?
Ivan.
Yvonne.
Yvonne.
Yeah,
Definitely.
it's pretty easy.
He's a bit of a dark horse so far by sort of book 4 or 5. Yeah.
Mhm.
Mm.
Well, he
Actually-
has like he's the one with all the religious complications, and well, I know.
No, Ivan's the non-religious
Intellectual,
character.
Well, yeah, but he brings up the philosophical end of it a lot.
Right.
Yeah,
Mm.
and the questions. He has a more than what's his name? Elias, not Elias, but AL.
I can't quite
Alex,
Yeah. When I read like Russian or like the Tolstoy, even the names, they, you know what I mean. They mean to me. I know who they are, but I can't. I know there's I just call him like Al, you know, and then as opposed to Dmitri or Ida. But yeah, I'm keeping up.
Yeah, as I said, I'm just gonna have to start up book 5. It just happens that this week's schedule is only like 70 pages, so it's not going to be a hard week.
Yeah.
We have to do a live show eventually this month about. I mean, because I have not even looked at the Discord to see what kind of conversations are going on out there.
Oh, you haven't yet? Yeah, I've been keeping up with them.
Okay.
And,
it's good. I mean, also the intensity that the characters are so intense that it's like comical as well as
it is. It's like the insulting,
the stoning, the stoning scene where they're stoning him.
Yeah.
Yeah. What I've done nothing to you. Why are you? That's crazy.
Why you throw stones at me? It's like,
that hurt him. Yeah, funny. And then, so like I'm reading. So this will go into March, the Brothers Cave. Then I'm reading Middlemarch with Maeve.
Oh, nice.
Ever. Yeah, I haven't read that in decades. So that's going to be a real twist for me. Then Jenny has got me. We're going to read The Hobbit in September. I like to leave some wiggle room in my year where I can, things will come out of the blue.
Well, you know something, Alan? It's only February, and basically I have most of my 2020 year. A lot of it.
You do. Yeah, I'm looking forward to reading JR.
Oh, God, I'm really looking forward to reading JR again.
I know, man. That was an excellent book. We've read now 3 of his, right?
We've done JR, Recognitions, and Carpenter's Gothic.
Yeah, that Gothic one was crazy. That relationship
it was good, though.
Yeah, a lot thinner.
Yes. There's a Frolic of His Own, which I have, and I sent you a copy of that one.
Yeah, okay, so I have that. I'm gonna there's like we got to get around to this one. Remember Nettie?
Yes.
This might be 2026, but I wonder if we can book chat with Pat or Roy or what. She really highly recommended this.
What is it, James Elroy? Let's
No, Joseph McElroy.
It's Mick Elroy. Where's my Mick Elroy?
Yeah, you ever hear of this? Heinz Kidnap? Right?
Not me. No, that's a new one on me.
Yeah, Nettie is out of London, and she used to send me stuff all the time, and I'd send her a big box when I was working. I could afford it, but then she's just dropped off.
Yes, she did. This is not too bad. This is only 602 pages long.
What's wrong with you people? Can't you?
The print is good. The print is not.
The print it's okay. It's not the best, but it's okay.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to get after that, we can all get a copy of Women and Men by the same author.
Okay.
Print size is like a suitable boy.
Oh, geez.
And this one is
This is why I'm reading Sweet Valley High books. They're like this big.
Yeah.
yeah.
Get your count up. Yeah.
This
Get
is only
your,
1,191 pages. So
Oh, man.
not quite as long as a
how
suitable
long have you had that book, Greg?
before I got married.
You've never read it?
Never. Well, it really takes commitment to read that book, and things are always coming up.
What made you buy it? Just when it came
Why?
out?
No, because it was on sale at Crown Books
Oh,
for $3.99.
okay. Yeah.
And I said, I'll buy that for $3.99. And for many years, it was completely out of print, and people were selling this book for like $900 on eBay.
No kidding. There you go. God, you should have sold it.
But now they've reprinted it, and I think it's gone down in value again. It's like maybe $50 or something like that.
Yeah. You don't need the money, huh? It's cool to have rare books. I used to have some rare books, and a guy who owned a big bookstore in Mesa, when I needed money, he came to my house, bought a bunch of them. I didn't have a library like you, Greg, but like all my walls were in my apartment were just 2x8s and those concrete bricks. Those were my bookshelves.
Well, I used to remember back in the mid 90s, you could get like 25% on the cover price on a used bookstore, something like that. And now it's like, we'll give you 25 cents.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. And then working at bookstores, you got, the first dibs off.
Yep.
Yeah, my locker was always full of books. But I had like Stephen King's autograph, Anne Rice's autograph. Probably the rarest one I had, Buck Bukowski's autograph on a couple things. I had Raymond Carver. I had Raymond Carver's autograph on a thing called The Pheasant. It was like a chapbook with his autograph and numbered.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could have been a contender.
Oh, Bad says I move in with your cats.
Is she allergic or she
I
likes
don't
dogs? She'd have to bring Chihuahua and what's the other dog's name?
Oreo. No.
Oreo, yep.
Is it Oreo and Chihuahua?
Yeah, Chihuahua. Boy, my latest thing I was telling Greg, I like to watch like dog and cat videos, how they play, and I was watching parrots and cockatiels. I get like lonely in my. I'm almost tempted to get a fish or something. At least a plant, somebody to talk to.
Maybe a lizard.
That'd be cool. Lizard on a bookshelf. Yeah, man.
You've got us to talk to, the people in your phone.
Be true. I'm always afraid I'm bugging people all the time.
Vernica says, I never know what events to jump into. There's too many. Well, you know something? Just join one. Doesn't matter.
Yep. Faulkner in August is a good one. Go down Moses.
Go down Moses. So, Jim, I'm with you regarding Sweet Valley High, Roy. I have never read a Sweet Valley High book.
The next one I've got is called Kidnapped by the Cult. So going back, segue in from an earlier discussion, there's got a cult in it. So I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna look out for the cult leader's hairstyle now. That's obviously
who's doing the cult leader video? Vernica, you gonna get that cult leader video hairstyle out?
You know why
it's bad.
What was the cult that the Hare Krishnas? You know why they have that long ponytail in back? You know why? This is true because when the rapture comes for them, guys are going to come and pull them up like by their hair ponytail.
Ouch!
Sounds legit.
That hurt. Now MJ's the one who reads all the and Ollie.
They're doing the Sweet Valley High.
Yeah,
vampire and werewolf movies.
I copied them there.
I don't participate in although I had this drawing in garbology. I don't know. I try to participate in it, but I just don't. maybe I'm like a book snob in a way, I guess. But I mean, I used to like Sidney Sheldon. Is that
That's pure trash.
Yeah, I like him.
Yeah.
I was going to read Jackie Collins. I think I read Rockstar by
Got
her.
the page count.
Yep. Oh, speaking of garbology, this was my wasted weekend book, The Black Death.
Wow.
I got about 100 pages into it and going,
Huh?
there's a reason this book is out of print.
Black Death.
It's just not good at all.
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought? I mean, you get 100 pages in, and only one person's died of the plague.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. So, kind of, I DNF'd it.
Can you really call it a plague at that point?
Well, I think it's called that because it's bubonic plague that the person died, and the doctors have not officially diagnosed it as bubonic plague yet.
So it's really selective type of a plague.
And it's, I
Kind
don't
of
know, it's in New York City during the middle of a garbage strike. So there's trash everywhere. So people are not so worried. Oh, yeah, there's trash. No, there's rats. So it's, if I'd stuck with it, it's going to have a high or should have a high death count, but who knows? It's when you're reading a book and you're going, oh man, do I have to read another chapter?
Yeah, it's time to.
That's not fun, is it? No.
It's time to be in it.
There's no point reading trashy fiction that isn't fun. If it is fun, then great.
Yep.
Well, I guess I'm not such a snob then.
There's always something. I read a book, but Ken Follett, he used to write books before he became like a proper writer. He wrote some books under pseudonyms.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. He wrote some detective ones, and he also wrote a book called A Mock King of Legend. That's kind of a fake King Kong book. So
didn't he write some of the Nick Carter books as well? No, that was Michael Crichton.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Michael Crichton wrote some of the Nick Carter books.
Now he's a hell of a writer, Crichton. I've read a few of his books, and I've always, like he's like a Dan Brown to me. I guess that kind of garbogus too, Dan Brown. But I could read a Dan Brown book in a day. Every chapter's a cliffhanger.
Mm-hmm.
And I really like the Inferno. About Dante, and takes place in Florence. It's probably my favorite Dan Brown book.
So Alan, here's Bad's recommendation: get a parrot and make it dance to your guitar.
Yeah, this has to happen.
Well, I was telling Greg, I wonder what it ended up saying. Because, I talk to my TV watching basketball and expletives. And then, I'm making videos all the time. And, maybe I will, and then I'm up at all hours, so it's not like it's going to wake me up with its squawking.
Parrots live a very, very, very long time, Alan.
Well, what are you saying? I'm going to be gone soon?
Well, no, Alan, a parrot can live 60 years.
I know.
So,
I'll will it to you.
And give me a senior citizen parrot.
No, I'm going to will it to you.
I'm not that much younger than you are.
I know.
I can't outlive a 60-year-old parrot.
I think you're a year and a month younger.
No.
Aren't you?
I'm October of 64 and you're December of 63.
Yeah.
You youngsters.
How old are you, Roy?
Well, I'm December 61, so got a
oh, yeah. I didn't think you were that much yeah. 60s. This is a good year to be born. It's just amazing what we've been through. Remember, I dream a lot too. So my mother died 10 years ago in February. It seems like I'd be hit with dreams of her all the time. So we had like the landline phones with a long cord. I just had a dream about her at the old house, and she goes, "Now I'm on a call. Don't be listening in on me." Remember, you could listen in on your parents' shit. Young people just growing up with cell phones, you'd have to call the librarian for Google.
Mm-hmm.
What's this? Do you know about this?
Yeah, different times.
Yeah.
Yeah, just going to a grocery store with the bleep, bleep, bleep. You know, we never had that. You had stickers. And as a young hoodlum, I'd just go in. I didn't want to pay $3. I'd mark it down at $1.25. Yeah, we all did that as kids, I bet. Greg's going, no, I never did that.
I never did that particular thing, but I can see people doing it.
Yeah.
Ingrid says, when I see a pair of shoes or shirt in the street, I say, someone got raptured.
That's a good one. Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Stephen King has a thing about shoes on the electric lines.
Oh, yeah.
And that's like some kind of communication with the regulators, I think.
Oh, right. Yeah.
All right. I don't remember that particular one. I probably read it.
There's like we have the Kurt Vonnegut encyclopedia. There's like Stephen King encyclopedias. I had one time. So you go down a rabbit hole.
And... So I think you're a mood reader and you choose to read whatever at the moment.
I'm half and half.
I don't do a lot of mood reading, but every now and then, like I said, I have a plan. So many plans that
man plans and God laughs.
Yeah.
You and Debs are the most, I hate to use the word voracious with readers because voracious is about food, but you're the most, Steve Donahue, of course, but he's a.
And Ollie reads more than I do, but
Ollie too, yeah.
The thing is, he's got a day job and a family, and still gets more read than I do when I'm retired and just lays around all day long.
I know. Me too.
Debs Rayner seems to do like every event that there is, like a sort of extreme sport.
He's got FOMO.
Yeah.
FOMO is real. I'm trying to do like one event a month and then one smaller book, hopefully new released. I'm trying to get people to give me advice, recommendations on new releases too. I guess I could use my Goodreads for that. Or
I read very few new releases, honestly.
Yeah,
I read Beautyland already this year. That was I have to remember that book at the end of the year because I really enjoyed that with philosophy. Beautyland. Hope it's remembered at award time.
Have to see. So Jim says, I still dream about my mom, Ellen, and she's been gone a long time.
Yeah,
cool. I never do.
You don't dream?
No. I don't dream about my parents or family. I just dream about them. All right, gentlemen. What else we got to say?
Well, talking about the live long and prosper sign, this will change your life, right?
Right.
If provided you can do it. If you ever have like sinus pain or just a thick head, if you do the sign and then massage your opposite ear, right? So you got 2 fingers above, 2 fingers below, and you just gently pulling down a few times, and then you do the same on the other side. Make a huge difference. Your sinus, parts of your sinus will be loads better. So there you go.
You mean I can finally throw this away?
Well, I wouldn't go that far, but you might find it helps a bit.
I'll try anything. I've been up for sinus surgery for about at least 5 years. I keep blowing it off.
Yeah, for a few months I get agony,
It's from all the cocaine in the 80s. I swear.
Okay.
Any other comments?
No, we're out of comments. One we're at an hour and a half.
Well, that's
You-
not bad.
Not bad. Do you want to call it a night?
Yeah, can do.
I like
Yeah.
the comment about the shoes and the
I do.
red shirt. That was a good comment.
You should make a video about that. Looking for articles of clothing on the street. Imagine who wore them.
You find some weird stuff up here in Portland sometimes. You really do.
You're not going to find that much weird stuff in Fredericksburg, honestly. It's
You find like one shoe and a bra, and you go, "Oh, well, God, what happened? This is could be a crime scene." I don't know if it's a crime scene or somebody's just leaving extra clothing. I don't know.
okay.
Yeah.
All right, gentlemen.
Yeah, thanks,
All
Roy.
Thanks, Roy, for
Real.
coming in. It's been
Cheers.
a blast. And Alan, good to be back after 2 weeks.
Yeah, Greg.
And
Yeah, we
who's the
really
guest
missed
next
you.
week? Is that a
A lot
cat?
of people were asking about you.
Is it cat next week?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
I have her email. I gotta send her a reminder.
Yeah, Ginger Bibliophile.
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah, and like she's up in like Atlanta.
Somewhere around there.
Yeah,
All right,
Atlanta.
everyone in the chat
Okay,
room.
fellas.
Have a great night wherever you are, and we'll catch up to you later.
Thanks,
Bye.
y'all.